Good morning, everyone. Thank you guys for joining me. My name is Alyssa Sparks. I am a Pilates instructor, holistic nutritionist, and mama to be here in Los Angeles. I'm going to lead you guys through a 30-minute prenatal Pilates flow. I am excited to bring this to all of you guys this morning. I have been teaching for over 10 years and have had the privilege of working with some amazing women to train me and further my development and education in pre and postnatal fitness. And especially right now, while I'm pregnant myself, it's even more important for me to be connecting to my body. And I'm excited to teach you guys just a nice 30-minute gentle flow, something that I do every single day for myself with different variations. So this morning, that is what we are going to be doing together. All you're going to need is your mat. I would also suggest putting on some music in the background so that you have a little bit of something to move to. I have something just really gentle in my background right now. So again, welcome. We'll start in a minute or so, but for those of you that are continuing to join me, my name is Alyssa Sparks. It's wonderful to meet all of you. I am a Pilates instructor, holistic nutritionist here in Los Angeles. I'm also a mommy to be, so this is a workout that I give myself every day, that I train my clients in every day, and something that I hope that you'll enjoy. This is going to be up on the Instagram following, so if you're not able to stay the whole time, not to worry. I will also be posting this on my page as well, Alyssa Sparks Wellness. So a lot of opportunities for you to enjoy this today and for many days to come. So as we get started this morning, as I've just been saying, as we've been entering the live stream here, all you need is a mat. You don't need any experience. This is a workout that is open to all trimesters. So whether you're first, second, or third, I am in my second right now. This is something that is safe for all of you mamas at home, and for my postnatal mamas, my postpartum mamas, this is something that you're able to do as well. A lot of this movement is about connecting to your breath, connecting back to your center and your pelvic floor, and then just stabilizing the hips and making sure that you feel stable, anchored, and strong. So I'm excited to bring all of this to you. Join me on the mat. We're gonna get started here. We're just gonna start in a nice mermaid type position here. Elongating the waist and getting some stretching is still something that you can do at home, especially as our body starts to change. So I want you to know that these are exercises, again, that you can do throughout every trimester. And we're gonna begin here in this mermaid position, which is just your right leg in front and your left knee behind. We're gonna take our right hand and place it down on the mat here. Left arm is gonna reach out to the side. Take a nice inhale here. On the exhale, we lean over to the right as we start to bend this right elbow. And we're just taking this nice side body stretch, moving into it nice and gentle here. We're gonna get more into our breath in a moment, but I just wanna get you moving at home. Nice, gentle movements. This is not about how far you can stretch. This is just about getting that length in the side body. All the way up and over. Last one here, take an inhale as you reach. Exhale all the way up and over. All the way up. Very easy and smooth to start. We switch legs. Left leg is in front, right leg is behind. Left hand is down here. We take an inhale as the arm extends out to the side. Exhale as you bend the left elbow, reach up and over. Feel that length in the side of the rib cage and the torso. All the way up, using this left hand as support. Take a big inhale. Exhale up and over. Again. Big inhale here. Exhale up and over. Last one here, inhale. Exhale all the way up and over. Feeling that nice stretch just to get us moving. All the way up. From here, we're going to transition onto all fours, and you're going to start to hear and notice a lot of cueing about breath today. The very end of our class, we're going to focus more on it. But as you inhale, I want you to feel the expansion of the side of your ribs and your diaphragm. Instead of puffing forward here, think of the expansion laterally, and on the exhale, we hug the waistband in. We also hug and lift the baby up. So those two things are happening together. We're securing the core here. We're also securing the waist. We're moving from the diaphragm. So thinking about that, we come onto all fours here. Nice cat-cow position. This is something that I recommend that you do on a daily basis for all of my mamas. This is something that just helps with range of motion. It helps with fluidity and movement. So our hands are planted down firmly here. We take a big inhale as we round like a cat, pushing your hands firmly into the floor, pushing your knees firmly into the floor, and creating this nice hollowed shape. Now, of course, we're not going to be able to hollow out all the way, but what I want you to think about here is hugging the baby, lifting the baby up, and on the exhale, lengthen past your neutral spine, release the pelvis behind you, and feel your chest and shoulder blades press back here. And we go 3 more times. We round with an inhale, scooping and hollowing, lifting the baby up. On the exhale, we release as we open up the chest, pressing the shoulder blades, releasing the pelvis behind us. 2 more here. And notice that I'm not extending very far. As I exhale here, of course there's more movement that I can force, but I'm not trying to do that today. I just want to think about releasing the pelvis here more than anything else. We don't want to create additional pressure in the core. So you're just going just gently past neutral. You'll feel plenty of a stretch. 1 more here. Big exhale as we release. We carefully return to neutral for our first set of movement. Now, just because we are pregnant does not mean we cannot focus on our core. We actually need to focus on it even more, but in slightly different ways. So, as you know, no crunching and twisting, but movement on all fours and leg extension to accentuate that hug of the pelvic floor is going to be extremely helpful and important. So staying here, we get to take our right leg behind us. You're going to just gently point that toe down on the floor and gently lift the knee up. From here, you bend the knee in as you hug the baby up. Extend the leg right back behind you and tap the toe down. So we lift nice and slow. We hug the core and the baby. We release and lower. Now throughout this series, we are firmly planting our palms down on the mat and making sure that our core, the baby, hugged and lifted up here. There is no arch in our spine. And again, you're only bending that knee in as much as you can, right? So we lift up here. We are scooping and hugging the baby as we hug the knee underneath. We extend right back out, feeling that length, and drop back down. We go up again. We bend it in. You reach and lower. 2 more. We go up. Scoop, extend, and lower. Last one here, we lift, we scoop and bend, we extend, we lower down. 2 counts, lift it up and lower down. So your second movement is a very simple lift and lower of the leg here. This is not about height. So you'll notice that the higher the leg goes, the more the back is going to want to arch like this. We want to keep all of that movement out of the body right now. And you're constantly thinking about hugging the baby up. That is where the core work comes in here. Constantly thinking about that nice little scoop. And continuing to think about that breath. Alternating. When you exhale, that's that nice gentle hug. Whether it's you hugging the baby in or you feeling like you're zipping up a pair of pants at your pelvic floor. Just this gentle little zip here to keep that security. Good, 3 more here. 2 more here, nice and gentle. Last one, leg extends, small pulses to finish. Very small, starting to feel that nice burn in the backside of the hamstrings and the glutes. So yes, while we are focusing on the core, hugging in the pelvic floor, staying lifted in the heart and the chest, we're starting to activate that right hamstring and glute. And all of that pelvic stability is going to be crucial throughout your pregnancy, after your pregnancy as well. Little lifts. 8 more here. We go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take a rest for a moment. Very nice. We extend that other leg right away. That left leg reaches behind us. Checking on those palms again, making sure they are firmly planted down. Leg lifts up. Knee hugs in as you hug the baby. You extend the leg back behind you. and you lower that foot right back down. So 2 counts, you lift up. For 2, hug it in. Reach it out. And notice when I hug the knee in, there's a little movement of my spine. So it's very reminiscent of the cat-cows that we just did. As long as you are hugging and lifting the baby, as long as you are hugging in that navel at the same time to support your back, I encourage you to allow your pelvis to move slightly here. We don't want to stay too stiff and locked. We're trying to create a little room, a little space between each joint while we stabilize. So make sure we stay connected, and allowing you to breathe to get oxygen to those muscles is going to make this a much more pleasant series. 2 more, just like this. We reach all the way up. We hug in and we reach it back. We drop it down. We lift it up. We hug, scooping the navel in, hugging the baby. Reach the leg all the way back, and we lower. 2 counts to lift, 2 counts to lower. That left leg is nice and long. You are reaching energy through the toes, energy all the way through the top of the head here. So again, starting to feel a little fire in the hamstrings and the glutes. Keeping our pelvis nice and stable throughout pregnancy is key. It's going to help with labor and delivery. It's going to help with recovery. So making sure that we're activating properly. We're not focusing on squeezing and tightening and clenching. We're focusing on hugging and lifting. So that is what I want you to think about every time you add in a movement in your workout, specifically here, lifting and lowering that leg. We are hugging the baby up. We are hugging our core towards our spine as the leg lifts. So we are connected. We are thoughtful with each movement. 2 more here. Last one, lift and hold. We finish with small pulses, up an inch. This is a great time to check on the rest of your body. Notice I soften my elbows slightly. We don't want to lock here. We want to be nice and active, but we want to make sure we are gentle on our joints. 8 more here. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take a gentle rest. Very nice. Shake out the shoulders, round everything out. Nice little connection for the core and the glutes. We're going to move on. We're going to continue on with a little bit of core here. And I really enjoy this series. There are a lot of modifications here. So if you are farther along in your 3rd trimester, I would suggest putting a small pillow behind your low back. Even in your 2nd or even 1st trimester, this is completely up to you on how your body is feeling. If you feel like you need the support, place a small pillow behind your low back here so that you have that. Otherwise, we gently come down to our forearms here. And you can see right off the bat that I've slightly tucked my hips underneath me. So as opposed to being completely released here, I have scooped the baby, I'm hollowing out, and I have a little bit of a pelvic tilt. And that right off the bat is helping me engage my pelvic floor without putting pressure up on my ribs. My elbows and my palms are nice and flat here. And this is all about breath. So we take an inhale before we move. On the exhale, we pull the right knee to our chest as we hug the baby up. Inhale on the way down. Exhale, we switch. Now, these are very, very small focus movements, as you can see. So I encourage you to look down and stay connected. We want to stay away from doming. We don't want to put so much pressure on our core that we start to see our abdominals puff and dome forward. We're trying to make sure that we are engaged. We want to try and do everything that we can to avoid diastasis here. So we don't want to add any displaced pressure into our core. And the best way to do that is to think about hugging the baby every time you move the leg. So that is going to be your connection. Every time the knee lifts, there's a gentle hug. You inhale as you place down. Exhale as you lift up. From here, we lift the right leg again. We inhale first. Exhale as we scoop. We inhale, extend the leg forward. Exhale as you bend the knee and hug. 3 more. Inhale out. Exhale, scoop as we bend. For 2. Very nice and gentle here. One more. Exhale as you hug and bend. Carefully place this leg down, we switch. Continuing to use your upper body here to help prop you up. Notice again, we're not tilted forward here. Our ribs are heavy, we're slightly tucked under. Left knee comes in. Hug. Extend the leg with an inhale. Exhale as you bend. And mamas at home, it's important to keep checking in with your body, because if you extend this leg out and you notice a rise or a puff happening in the rib cage, that's telling us that our pressure is displaced. It's telling us we're not activating from the right place. The best way to fix that is to extend your leg at a higher angle and maybe not extend it all the way out. So again, that's why we are focused on the breath. And of course, as we get farther along in pregnancy, it is harder and harder to feel that connection. So I want you to do your best. I want you to take these slow. I want you to visualize the connection. That's the mind-body connection that you hear about all the time. It is important, it's extremely valuable, and it makes a lot of sense. When you can really take a look at what's going on, connect the dots, and start to feel that exhale connects deeper, underneath the baby to hug and lift. Foot goes down. Last time we lift, we lower back down. Continuing to press our lower spine down into the mat. And it's almost like your core is lifting the leg for you. That is the connection that we want to make here. The quad, the leg, the knee, the hip, not doing the work. It's actually your pelvic floor, all those wonderful muscles hugging underneath the baby. I want you to think you're scooping the baby up as the knee bends in. One more here. Wonderful. From here, we're transitioning right into our first side series. You have multiple options for your upper body here. I'm picking a forearm option because I'm really itching for that connection to my obliques. If this does not feel great on the shoulder, or if the weight of the baby is putting too much pressure on your body, I would suggest that you come down into a full lying rest position. It's completely up to you. You might even find that halfway through the series you want to change your mind and change your position, and you are allowed to do that. If you decide to stay on your forearm, lift that bottom rib cage and waistline up here. The obliques are still active, and that is something that you want to continue working on throughout your pregnancy, right? So we want to continue finding that great length. Use that right forearm to prop you down. Feet are glued together. And from here, we open all the way up, all the way down. Now, this series at home can be done with a very light resistance band if that works for you. You'll notice that as you get farther along in your pregnancy, you're not going to want or need the additional resistance. In the first and second trimester, we're really focusing on engaging, hugging, and holding, right? As we get farther along and we enter into the third trimester, you want to start practicing letting go, which is a little bit difficult. So if you're in your third trimester, I would recommend going bandless. And even if you're in your first and second, if that's not something that your hips are enjoying, if that's not something that you feel like you need, it's a total option for you. But you always want to err on the side of caution with these exercises. You want to go for body weight and resistance. It's going to be plenty of work, I promise you. Hips are staying nice and still here, but the movement is very reminiscent of a band exercise if you had the band around your knees. So while you're doing this at home, I challenge you to move as if that band was still there, with intention. Really slow, lots of resistance. When you get to the highest point of your knee and your thigh opening, see if you can press up a little bit more, a little bit deeper, almost like you're pressing that band a little bit more here. Let's go 3 more. Still lifting if we've chosen to come up on the forearm. Last one, we lift the knee and hold. From here, little pulses. We go tap, tap, tap. Now the entire body should be working here. We want to make sure, again, we're not collapsing down. We are pushing up. So we have some nice activation of the lat and the armpit here. And these little taps, again, focusing on the glute medius, which is the side of our hips. All the relaxant in our body is starting to loosen up our joints. We're starting to feel different in terms of flexibility and mobility right now. So to ensure that we can stay stable throughout pregnancy, throughout labor, delivery, and beyond, these small movements of the glutes are crucial. This is my go-to exercise. Even if you're not pregnant, this is something that I do with all of my clients because we all just need that hip stability. The way that our daily lives take us, the positions we're in, especially now sitting at home, at our desk, it has really shifted the harmony and the alignment of our body. So these very small movements, it doesn't take a lot. They're gonna allow you to get realigned, re-anchored. They're gonna wake up some of those muscles that need to be working to help protect you. We go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold on 1. From here, keep the knee lifted, lift the foot to join. Notice how my hip, knee, and foot are all on the same level. From here, we start to draw very small circles, the whole thigh. 6 more. 5, 4, my favorite series, 3, 2, 1 more, we reverse. Leading with the kneecap. So my knee is not turning up, I'm keeping the entire shape of my thigh. Good, we go 4 here. 3, still focusing on that breath for 2. Last one, we finish with small pulses up and up. Now is a great time to get back to our breath here. Again, you're hugging and lifting the baby up. You can always place a hand on your rib cage. You can always place a hand underneath the baby. Hand can go to your hip. Hand can go down in front of you for a little more support. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1, take a rest. We should be feeling a little bit of work here. From here, everyone, we flip around to the other side. Let's even ourselves out before we go into some more breath work and really start to talk about it. Left forearm is down. Knees are glued together. Again, if the forearm position is not comfortable for you, if you're feeling any back pain, hip pain, or shoulder pain, coming down to your side in a nice rested position is another wonderful option for you. Today, I am picking forearms so that I can still stay connected to my obliques as long as I don't feel pressure in my core and in my hips. From here, our feet are glued together. Chest is lifted nice and tall. We take an inhale. Exhale. We begin. All the way open and close. Now this workout today, everyone, it's gentle. The pace remains the same throughout. That is not to say that you cannot play with the pace at home. If you have continued to work out at home and are doing higher intensity or quicker pace workouts, if that's something you were doing before pregnancy, I encourage you to continue with your routine. What I don't encourage is for you to start something brand new now. If you were not a runner before your pregnancy, you're certainly not going to be a runner now. So you want to continue along the lines of whatever you were doing pre-pregnancy, and you want to continue with that movement. You don't want to stop. You want to make sure that you're staying connected, active, and you will feel a big difference on those days where we wake up and we feel a little lethargic or tight or achy because of all of the changes in our bodies. Those cat-cow stretches, the mermaid stretch, a few of the things that we started with this morning are so valuable to add to your daily routine. If you're itching for a little glute burn, a little activity, a little active work, this is a fantastic series that you can do every day. It's a very short, low impact, very focused series. It looks easy. It's very difficult. It's complicated in all the right ways. So I hope that these exercises are things that you can start to add into your routine. Maybe you're already doing yoga. Maybe you're continuing on with some HIIT classes that you were already doing before pregnancy. Whatever your workout is, this is a wonderful flow that I hope you can add to your current routine. One more. We open the knee and hold. Little taps. We go up, up. Notice hips are nice and still here. I'm not rocking back and forth at all. Everything is locked and where it should be here. We are just isolating the side of the thigh. So the right hip and thigh. You should be feeling that deep glute burn. Again, your glute medius, it's responsible for most of the stability in your pelvis in terms of your glutes. So we want to make sure those muscles are still active. And lie on your side is a safe, effective position You can still engage your core here, which you want to continue doing in the right ways. And we're still working our posture. We're allowing the whole body to stay active. We go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold on 1. From here, the knee stays up. Lift the foot to join. From here, we start to draw circles. We go up and around. For 7, for 6, for 5. Feeling the entire outside of that glute and thigh starting to fire up. 3, 2, we reverse. Continuing on with that great breath, everyone. Remember, just because you're lying on your side doesn't mean you stop thinking about your core. So as you exhale, you're still lifting, hugging the baby up. You're still lifting your heart into your chest. 3 more here. 2 more. Last one. We pulse to finish. We go 8. Last 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take a rest. Very nice. You should feel all kinds of wonderful work in the outside of the hip and the glute. And I'm going to show you a couple of my favorite stretches before we finish and really get into the breath and connect together. So we're going to stay in a seated upright position. As you get farther along in your pregnancy, lying down is not as recommended because it cuts oxygen supply off to the baby. It's also not very comfortable for you. So if you would like to stay in an upright position for this, like me, wonderful. If you are okay lying down, fantastic. You can always place a pillow behind your head or your back as well. We're going to start with our right leg, crossing over that left thigh. And this is one of my favorite stretches, a figure 4 stretch, to really stretch out the outside of the hip that we just worked with those clamshell exercises. Now, from here, you keep that right knee open. You keep that ankle crossed. Hands come down, and you're just going to slowly start to bend your left knee. The closer your knee draws to you, the deeper the stretch of your right hip. So I would suggest just starting very slow here, using your hands, and you can slightly lean back if you need to. Take a nice inhale, nice exhale. And you're almost pushing into this right knee to deepen that stretch. Now I'm going to pull my left foot back a little more, and I'm going to prop myself up with my arms to sit taller. That is going to deepen the stretch on the outside of my right hip. We take another inhale together. On the exhale, we push into our stretch gently. Very nice. From here, you carefully unwind, extend that right leg out. Left ankle crosses over, sitting nice and tall to start. Feels really nice to find that length in the spine, the stretch down the back of that right thigh. From here, our hands gently come down by our sides. We bend the right knee in and plant that foot down. Right away, you should feel that pressure and that stretch on the outside of that left hip. You use your hands behind you to help prop yourself up. You can also put a chair or lay behind your couch here and have that as a little extra support as well. Again, we are not forcing this too much here. We are breathing in through the nose. On the exhale, we push gently with our body. And sometimes that's all we need. I'm going to pull my right knee in a little more to deepen the stretch. Right away, I feel it. We take a big inhale here. On the exhale, your body leans towards the leg. Nothing like it. From here, we carefully unwind. Turn to face me. We're going to finish with our breath work. Now, this is something you can begin with or you can end with, but sometimes it's nice to kind of cool down before you continue on with the rest of your day. Pregnancy breath work can be a little bit complicated. Sometimes we don't know how intensely to inhale and exhale. So I'm going to share with you some valuable information that was passed along to me from one of my mentors and something that I practice with all of my pre- and postnatal clients. Instead of expanding the ribs, the lungs, the diaphragm forward when we breathe, you want to think about the expansion and the width of your ribs and diaphragm here. Your diaphragm is a muscle, so we want to train it. So what I'm going to ask you all to do is place your hands around your rib cage here. You're going to breathe into your hands and you're going to feel the lateral expansion this way as you inhale, as opposed to this way, feeling this expansion. So we take a big inhale through the nose. You're going to feel your hands widen, and on the exhale, As you feel your ribs close and kind of weave together, you're also lifting the baby, your navel, your lower abdominals up at the same time. So this is something that I want you to focus on happening together. You inhale as we expand together. And really feel the expansion in your hands. On the exhale, we close the ribs while we hug up with the baby and our lower abdominals. Again, inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Exhale as we hug and lift. 1 more here. And my hope for you is that as you continue to breathe like that, that exhale is going to allow you to feel length. You're going to feel the pressure and the weight lifting off of your pelvis, the weight of the baby, the weight of your core. If you're in your first and second trimester, that is the breathing that you're going to focus on as much as you can. As you get closer into the third and in those few weeks leading up to labor and delivery, your approach is going to be slightly different. You're actually not going to be hugging and lifting as much because you're getting ready to release. So think about that breath. The diaphragm and the expansion is throughout your entire pregnancy. As you exhale, you lift and you hug. My mom is in their first and second trimester. Your exhale is that lift, that connection, to make sure that you're not just pinching the ribs here and pushing the baby out. We want to hug and lift and draw in together so there's no displaced pressure. And my mamas that are in their third trimester and that are getting ready to deliver and getting mentally and physically ready for that, when you exhale, focus on the ribs coming together and relaxing the core, relaxing the baby down, not gripping and clenching. There are so many wonderful things that you can do throughout your pregnancy, all the way through to stay moving, to stay connected. And then of course, following your pregnancy, just connecting back to your body. Again, these are exercises that I give to all of my clients, even my clients that are not pregnant, that have not had children. And it's just important to stay connected to our body so we understand how we can get the most out of our workouts. How can we get the most out of our breath? How can we connect to ourselves and start to feel things a little bit better so that you have more knowledge and so that you can make better adjustments and better decisions on how you carry your body, how to handle your stress, how to carry the weight of our body, how to carry these changes that are taking place on a daily basis. So I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you guys for joining me today. I really enjoyed my time with you. Again, my name is Alyssa Sparks. Please feel free to join me on my Instagram. It's Alyssa Sparks Wellness. I have pre and postnatal workouts and just normal workouts that are pregnancy safe. But if you are not pregnant yet, or that is just not something that you're doing right now, I have workouts for you too. It's all about connecting to your body. So I appreciate the time. Thank you for having me this morning. This workout will continue to stay up. And if you have any questions, let me know. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Thanks for joining me.